Hi everybody, welcome to the Finance This Property That podcast. My name is Dion Fernandes and I am a mortgage planner and finance professional. My goal is to empower financial legacies for generations, and I look to do this by using my over 13 years experience in finance and having special guest speakers like financial planners, accountants, buyer's agents, family lawyers who are experts in their field to provide knowledge and free education. And without further ado, let's get into our episode today. Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Finance This Property That. Going to continue on with the theme. I have another follower question that people wanted answered, so it's come up a few times, right? Topic today is self-employed customers. Here's how to get your loan approved that you guys deserve, and I'm going to debunk a few myths, right? Banks like self-employed. It's okay to be self-employed. But what I want to cover off today are a few key points. Really want to give you guys an understanding of a lender's perspective around self-employed income, right? How they calculate it, why they calculate it, etc. Then give you guys some hints and tips about documents that you may need and how we get the right documents and how you get the right income. Cool? Lastly, want to talk to you guys around lender choice. There are a lot of lenders and they all do different things, and why I'm good at self-employed, right? Cool. So let's get into it. Let's bust this myth. I want to clear it up right now. Banks do like self-employed clients. They do want to do business with self-employed clients. There are a lot of banks out there that love self-employed clients and actually have some fantastic policies for self-employed clients. Will it fit you? I don't know. That's why you need to come and see me and we can have a chat about it. So let's take a minute to understand why that myth has happened and understanding a lender's perspective, I guess, around why some may see self-employed as risky, right? Cool. So like I said, lenders love self-employed. Or they like self-employed. However, self-employed, like casual income or overtime and allowances, right, is not consistent usually. So why the myth has come about is because some businesses will have very good years, some won't, and it fluctuates. What a lender really wants to see is consistency. Right? Usually, a lender will want you to be 2 years ABN or ACN self-employed and have 2 years worth of financials because they want to see consistency. They want to see the variations, but they also understand that if you're a new business in your first year, you may have a few extra costs. That's why you have the 2 years. And then you've got your other supporting documents like BAS and accountants letters to help out with getting approvals done. So they do have an expectation on the documents that you need to provide and the length of the documents that you need to provide. However, let's put an asterisk on that because I'm going to tell you about a couple of cool things that some of these other lenders do that you have to, some of these lenders are actually wanting less documentation. Oh, that's probably pricked your ears up a little bit, right, guys? So, documentation and documenting your income and having that consistent over 2 years. That's how you get better loan approvals. That's how you get faster loan approvals, right? So how does someone like myself do that? Like I've mentioned so many times, my methodology is go slow to go fast. I do take the time right at the beginning to understand your employment structure. Are you employed as a sole trader? Are you employed is your business run under a company structure or a trust structure with a corporate trustee? Who are the directors? Who are the shareholders? Because ultimately, it shows where the income comes from. I have a lot of complex self-employed clients. One has 6 different companies. They all actually run individual businesses. Then they all filter in through other accounts. So it can get complex. This is why there's that myth that lenders don't like self-employed. However, the best thing I can suggest is to my clients, and it's every time, is make the introduction to your accountant, to me and your accountant, so we can have a chat. We can all get on a call together. We can have a chat, understand that structure. I can give them the expectations of what they need. They can get me the correct documentation. It saves the toing and froing, because by the time I give you a strategy, I've already worked out your income, where we're going, how we're going to do it, etc. It also helps me explain certain variances in the 2 years worth of financials. Also helps me with add backs and non-recurring income, non-recurring expenses, to get that income right before we submit it, right? Go slow to go fast, because it doesn't really count. All the work we do up front it counts up front, doesn't count when you actually submit it, because by the time we've submitted an application, 99% or 90% of the time, I know it's going to get approved because I've done the due diligence, I've done the research, which is very different to a lot of stories I've heard from other clients saying, oh, well, they just, my last broker or my bank just submitted it. They didn't take the care to understand. So this leads me to my next topic, choosing the right lender. I can't choose the right lender without the right information, right? So there are some lenders doing some pretty cool things with self-employed. So there's different types of self-employed verification. There's full doc or low doc or alt doc, as some people like to call it. So full doc is what it says. We get the full set of financials depending on the lender. Some lenders only want 1 year's worth of financials and personal tax returns and notice of assessments. Some want 2 years, but they'll use the most recent year. Some will just use 2 years, or the lower of the two, or the average of the two. There's so many different ones we can choose from. Some lenders will just use your last 2 years' notice of assessments. How good is that? And if you're a director of a company and you consistently pay yourself a salary, they'll just use the director's salary and park the company net profit and the company liabilities to the side. Along with a letter from your accountant, that's basically all we need most of the time. Again, doesn't suit everyone, and there are some rules, so we need to go through those, right? Individually, everyone's different. But as a self-employed expert, it's my job to know the niches of these lenders. I have about 40 on my panel, so I know them all quite intricately. We've also got lenders that, hey, look, if your financials aren't up to scratch, look, there's other ways to do it. Low doc or alt doc, where we require maybe a customer declaration and BAS, right? Makes sense. The BAS, you've got the sales, it's in there, and they won't use all that income. But again, it's tailored to your individual requirements. And back to that point, right, to get it, to go slow, to go fast, the solution I do tailor is very bespoke to your situation. That it's not that one size fits all. And piggybacking off the back of that rooming house podcast that I just did, if you're self-employed and you want to get into that rooming house space, I really need to understand that structure well before we even start signing contracts, etc. Because there's only a few lenders that'll do rooming house and they will want full documentation. So we need to get your affairs in order. So hopefully you guys got something out of that, right? Self-employed clients, I love self-employed clients. 95% of my clients are self-employed. If you're struggling to get finance, let's just have a chat and let's look at some options. But as always, the information on this podcast is very general in nature, and I do encourage you, if you are self-employed and tired of getting no, or just not understanding the why behind it, or you just don't have a plan, come to me, let's talk about it. Let's get a path to success and create your generational wealth, right? To get a hold of me, really, really simple. Jump on Instagram at Dion Finance Specialist, or this podcast at Finances Property That. I'm also on LinkedIn, Dion Fernandes, really easy to find. In my Instagram bio for both of the business and the podcast page, there's a link. Click the link. It'll take you to my booking page. Let's just start with a conversation to see if we can help. But I can't help you if you don't come and chat to me. And as always, guys, if you like the show, please share it, like it, subscribe it. It doesn't cost you anything. And I look forward to putting out more content like this and seeing you guys on the next episode. Thank you. As always, the Information on the show is very general in nature. If you'd like to speak more about your current situation, you can contact me using the details below. Thank you for listening.